Hi, Zoe. You are homeless in Venice.
Yes,
How old are you?
I'm 44 years old.
44 years old. And how long have you been homeless?
I've been here 6 weeks. I've been on and off homeless almost my whole life.
Wow, really?
Just different situations.
Different situations since you were a kid?
16.
16? That's not fair. I'm sorry.
So
What happened that you ended up homeless at 16?
my mom started smoking crack, and I was just like pulled out of my house.
I'm so sorry.
No, it happens.
It happens, but it shouldn't.
And
Um,
in some ways, it happens. It's a blessing
how so?
because it's like bad things like showed me lessons that I didn't have to go through my own life. I got to learn from other people's things. And like hard times, they build us. You know what I mean? Into better.
It's true. How do you feel this has built you into better?
Well, I mean, I got to see people who were on the bottom and know that they're still people and that they still care and that they're out here. They got problems. People are hurt. People maybe didn't make the best decisions, with their money or whatnot, but we're all living. We're all trying.
Yeah.
So it gives me a different understanding of it.
Did you have a lower perspective on homeless people before you became homeless?
I mean, yeah, of course. You walk by and you see somebody, like in a blanket walking around all, dirty. And yeah, it happens. Like we do judge. Everybody does. But like when you live it, it's a different story.
Yeah. So you said that you've been on and off homeless. Can you tell me about the situations where you weren't?
Yeah, I mean, I've had, like I've worked homeless and held down a job plenty of times. But like I had, like the last 2 years, I worked two full-time jobs. I had my own place. Everything was fine, but it was like nothing that tied to my happiness. And it's like, what are you doing it for? I'm working all my life, 44 years. Well, I mean, of course, I wasn't working all 44 years, but you work so hard, and it's like you get to that point in life, and it's like, why? Why am I working so hard to come home and have nothing? And it's like, okay, well, I gotta let go of everything that makes me unhappy and walk towards the things that make me happy. And sometimes put yourself in a situation where you start over again.
What makes you happy?
Making other people wise and trying to build other people up, like where it's all about self love, right? Like
Yeah.
you got to learn to love yourself and to be free within yourself is like freedom on earth. And I just want to teach people that through like music and poetry.
That's beautiful. So you're an artist?
Yeah.
Um, do you remember the first day that you became homeless?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about it?
I remember I was 15 years old and it was March 1st. My birthday is March 8th. And my mom and my stepdad got in a fight. My stepdad threw me around and beat me up, threw me to the ground, put his knee on my head, and was like, go get your stuff and get out. Actually, it was like, call the cops. And I was like, I'm going to call the cops. You just beat me up. And he's like, you're right. Go get your stuff and get out. And I went to go get my clothes. And he's like, where are you going? And I was like, to get my stuff. And he's like, that's not yours. Your mom's and mine. Bye. And that was the beginning of my homeless life.
I'm so sorry. Have you seen them since?
Yeah, but my mom passed away recently. Of course, she wasn't always like that.
Um, how did you feel that first day on the streets?
Alone.
Yeah, really hard. Um, do you find yourself happier now?
Yeah, I do. I'm generally happy all the time. It's like I said, it all made me. Like I feel like it made me tougher and it built purpose into my life.
Yeah. So you're out here in Venice Beach. How's the weather?
I love it. I love it. It's to die for. The nights are kind of chilly, but
Yeah.
coming from Chicago, it's like every day the sun just feels warm. I
Yeah.
told myself last year, no more cold weather. Like, gotta be happy for you, and like, it's a dream out here.
Yeah. How do you deal with the cold nights? Do you have blankets?
Yeah, I have blankets, but then you end up having more to carry when you're homeless, and there's not a lot they do out here. It's like, I came out here and was homeless, but my first month I looked for a job. I put all my money towards getting a uh, storage unit, and I couldn't find a job in that first month. And then after that, it's like, okay, well, I don't got no more money for the storage unit. And
Yeah.
then you end up with more than you can carry. And then it's like, well, what do? You buy any kind of carts out here, they fall apart. You know what I mean? And it's money that you don't have, dude. But you get GR, it's like $220 a month. You know, you could get a storage, then you might slack on bus rides or whatever. You know what I mean? It's picking your poison. It's all nobody knows what they're doing. They're all just trying to get by. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you keep with you?
Well, I got a skateboard, a basketball, a ukulele. I had a speaker that I did my performing with, but the cops took that from me. Uh, and then a tent, a air mattress, and a sleeping bag and some blankets. And most people don't carry as much clothes as I got, but
Things that make us happy.
yeah, yeah.
So what's your daily routine look like?
My daily routine is out here. I'll tell you what, it's a blessing for Bread and Roses, which is somewhere local that does food breakfast in the mornings. Oh my God. Like to have an option where you could get something warm after a cold night, that's a blessing.
And that place is called Bread and Roses
Yeah.
in
And then other
Venice.
than that, it's like there's some places that like churches will do food banks. They give you clothes, and you don't have nothing out here, so you're trying to get by. It helps. And then there's local food banks. Try and hit a couple a week, just to have something.
What services do you wish you had?
Um, if like something to help with storage, how can you go find a job when you're carrying a bunch of stuff? It's like if somebody called me tomorrow and was like, "Come work," it's like, okay, oh well, I could come work, but I'm gonna lose everything else I have because out here, if people see something unattended, they take it, and it's I get it, but like, it sucks.
It's so smart. I think there are so many things that people don't even think about
Right.
that impede your ability to live
Right.
your
When you
life.
think about people, they have places over here where it's like, well, you could come and we'll help you sign up to get a job, and it's like, but you got to be here at 9 o'clock every morning, and it's like, okay, well, you're not really making it feasible for people who were out here with belongings. And it's like there's plenty of people that would probably take you up on that and move through the system, but there's not that right now. So
Yeah. Um, so you bring a tent with you. You put it up every night and blow up an air mattress. How do you feel safe in your tent?
I do. I mean, I also try to be about community. So a lot of the people out here know each other. Like I've been out here in Venice for 6 weeks, and I've met tons of people that are in this area. To not lie to you, I've met hundreds of people. Tell me why. I've met like two people that have a house. Tons of people, and they're all nice people, just going through a different issue. Some sleep in their vans, some are in RVs, but it's so common out here. And it's different from anywhere I've lived in my life.
There are more people here
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
streets.
I feel like there's a lot of people here that have a lot of talent and skill, creative people that are just in between stuff. You know what I mean? That's all it is, and I'm sure I could speak for a lot of the homeless people, and it's like, well, a lot of us aren't asking for money. We're not trying to hinder nobody else. And it's like we try and come to this park during the day and sleep or just hang out because it's like, well, where else can I go? cops push you out of everywhere. It's like a public park. Okay, we're gonna sit down, and then like some people come up and be like, "Well, you can't be here," and it's like, "Well, it's a public park, right?" Like, so you have that issue where it's like, okay, well, you can't even sit still. Sometimes you got to move around, and somebody will come and be like, "Oh, well, we're gonna take your stuff."
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Like I took a grocery cart because when I came out here, I bought. Uh, at first, I bought the storage unit, and then when my storage unit went out, I bought a cart. In like a week, my cart broke, and I'm like, well, I don't have any more money. What can I do? So I got a shopping cart, and they came and they're like, well, you can't use this, and they dumped it out and took it.
Yeah, they just threw it in the garbage, right? They
Yeah.
didn't even try to return it. They just put it in the garbage.
Ugh. What would you say is the most challenging aspect of your life?
Most challenging aspect of my life. You want that about being homeless, right?
Yeah, or anything really. It's your
Um,
life.
I don't know. It's difficult. That's a difficult question because it's like there's so many challenges with being homeless, but it's like maybe out here is meeting people who could give you opportunities and like knowing who to trust. Because like out here, there's people that come and talk to you about housing, and there's people that come to you about everything. And it's like, who can I trust to give my information? How do I know any of these people are really about it?
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, it's funny because I just read something in the paper talking about how the whole homeless thing was like botched, and they took all these people into like off of the encampments up here and pulled them into housing and led them to believe that they were going to get Section 8 and nobody ever got their vouchers. So, like, a lot of those people are still out here.
Ugh. The state puts in so much money into homelessness, and it doesn't seem like the people who are actually homeless are seeing those results.
Well, you know, I've heard somebody with a good idea out here say it should be split up a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like, people who are on drugs that may or may not want housing, you know what I mean? It should be in their own category. And people that are out here and just fall on a hard time and looking for housing to help them find a job and be able to tie them to an employment center and help them find work, and then like break that off into another one where it's like elderly, and then people who are mentally. It should be
Yeah.
each should have their own people that they're reaching to, and it should be divided because you're trying to pair people who don't have any drug addictions with people who have drug addictions fighting for the same thing. And tons of these people with drug addictions are going in there and they turn around and they're right back out of there. And it's taking a bed that you give somebody that wants to use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's a big thing, you know?
I totally agree. So how do you prepare your meals on the street?
I have a stove. So it's like a camping stove and like we cook. If we get some meat from we have a couple people in like the community, and we all like we'll take turns going to the food banks, or sometimes a couple of us will go and get meat, and like we'll cook at night and have like a little barbecue.
That's
Not every
lovely.
night, but sometimes.
Yeah. And so how do you earn money?
I mean, earning money is hard out here because you know what can you do? I came out here with music and I was performing on the boardwalk, but I was performing at night. Sometime when I thought it was within my rights, like 8 to 10, and the cops came and took my speaker, which I was using to perform, and that would have been well. That's why I spent the last of my money on it was because I was thought something that could bring me money, you know. But it is what it is. So now it's like you got to come up with a creative idea,
Yeah.
sell your either your art, but some people don't have that. It's like,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Yeah. Does it make you angry?
I don't get angry. I don't. It makes me wonder. It makes me feel like maybe I don't know. I just maybe there's something else that I need to understand, or a different. Maybe I have to do something else. You
That's beautiful. Um, Are there any health issues that you're currently dealing with?
Um, I mean, I'm trans, so in the middle of a transition, so
Yeah.
that's like my only worry.
Yeah.
I've got other stuff, I got like dental issues. I got punched in the face over here when I first got here, just blindsided. Nobody even like the guy. There was a big thing where people throw fireworks at the homeless people that sleep up here, and I was asking questions, and I asked this one guy, and he got all mad, and he's like, "Oh, just leave me alone." And I was like, "Whatever, respect, I got you." And I walked away, and while I was walking away, it knocked me out. So like that and my other stuff. That's it.
Yeah. Is it hard being transgender on the streets?
In a way, yeah. Not a lot of people want to associate with. I mean, there's a lot of friends and a lot of cool people, but like, it's only yeah. It's tricky.
Yeah. When did you begin your transition?
2 years ago, 2023 January.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Um, so, what was the most difficult experience you've had while homeless?
Uh, I mean, that's one of them. Being, you know, knocked out in the middle of a new place, nowhere. You know, don't know anybody, and like nobody can do anything. Nobody, flinched. I mean,
I'm so sorry.
and
But
people helped like call the cops and stuff like
yeah,
that, but like it's just like the cops haven't reached out to me and talked to me about anything. There's like no things set up like someone's rocked like that. Like even the police didn't pass on the information to the paramedics that I got knocked out cold. So like when I'm in the hospital, they're asking me what happened, and I'm like, oh, I just got hit. I thought just went down, but not. Like everybody told me I was laying on the ground, knocked out. So, I don't know. That's been one of my hardest challenges, but also just day to day life. Like the whole trying to work and
yeah. I'm sorry. On the flip side, though, can you share any acts of kindness that you'll never forget?
oh my God, there's all kinds of beautiful people out here that like. I'll be sitting here and people just drop off food randomly and be like, hey, I'm walking around picking up cans. Somebody just walk up and hand me a $20 bill and be like, thank you, or just, you know, trying to help. There's all kinds of beauty in the world.
I love that. Um, what were your dreams and goals when you were younger?
Um, I always wanted to be a musician, artist, poet, rapper.
Yeah, which you are now.
I am maybe
Um,
the world's best.
I believe you. Um, if you had three wishes, what would they be?
I wish people would understand how much control they have. I wish people would use it wisely. And I wish we could all be what we always were together.
Beautiful. And finally, if you could give a piece of advice to the viewers watching this interview, what would it be?
Love you. When you love you, then you'll love everybody outside of you because you'll realize that everybody you're looking at is creating you.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for talking to
No
me.
problem.
And
Thank
good
you.
luck.